Hello again, everybody! Second Attack is here with my TNA Impact Wrestling review for tonight, Thursday, January 31st, 2013. Of course, Impact Open Fight Night tonight from Manchester, England. First of, I think, one or two Impacts in the UK. Hence the absence of Jeff Hardy. Of course, they gave him an injury storyline. So, to explain his absence in UK. But my thoughts on Impact tonight. Okay, Impact, which okay after the UK. Plus, Ace and Eights as new members. As men that one man trusted, two young men that one older guy had thought he had their trust and their mentorship turned their backs on the older man. I'll get to that and to explain that in a moment. Let's kick off Impact with, well, Kazarian and Daniels. Team Bad Influence. Daniels had the chance to win against Jeff Hardy last week for the title, of course, despite numerous interferences by Kaz. It didn't pay off this well, as I'm trying to do this review and watch Bellator at the same time from Soaring Eagle Casino in Mount Pleasant, where I was at a TNA house show. Anyway, they were dressing up like Scots and had like the face paint from the Braveheart movie. That was kind of funny. I've said this about Daniels and Kaz before. They're a great heel tag team. And they're making fun of the Brits. And here comes Magnus, who we haven't seen in a while since he got attacked by Aces and Eights. So Magnus came out, mouthed off Kaz and Daniels for making fun of England. They weren't the first guys to make fun of England tonight. Anyway, so we had Magnus in an impromptu fight between Kaz and Daniels, but he wasn't calling them out. He just beat their asses and tossed them outside the ring. He told his real challenge after he threw out the trash, Kaz and Daniels, he wanted to call out a member of Aces and Eights. Said in my attack line today that indeed, Aces and Eights members will be targeted by any member of the TNA roster. And Magnus started with Devon, calling him out. Not entitled, of course, because Devon's the TV champion. For being a first matchup, okay matchup, Magnus came in like a house of fire, wanting payback, beating Devon all around the ring. But indeed, Devon got the advantage after that, getting the second half of the matchup with the advantage. With the hometown crowd behind him, though, Magnus comes back. And indeed, he came out with a big clothesline and he did a Falcon Arrow as Magnus was ready to seal the deal and get the victory on Devon. I've said this before, I'll say it again. When there's one member of Ace and Eights around in the ring, you can expect the other members will not be that far away. And it was, yes indeed. As Magnus was getting the advantage, member of Ace and Eights came in, beat the crap out of Magnus to get the DQ victory for Magnus. He threw all of them out before he got a big-ass beating and almost got injured again. But indeed, Magnus got out of that attack, and he got the win. DQ, that is, over Devon, thanks to the interference of Aces and Eights. Now, on to the next match, which involved the Impact Wrestling debut of Joseph Park. Guys, Abyss ever gonna come back? Anyway, Joseph Park said last week he was gonna. Sorry, I was eating popcorn. That's why I'm choking a little bit because I'm probably choking on a seed as I'm chewing my popcorn and making this review. Anyway, Joseph Park came out and said last week he was gonna have this Impact match tonight and call someone out. Where he was about to call this certain person he had picked out, and I think I kind of predicted it. Also, my attack on today would be someone stupid like Robbie E. Yes, it was someone like Robbie E. coming out to make fun of England. I told you, as the Daniels did, make fun of Englanders. So did Robbie E. Despite the fact his bodyguard, Robbie T, is from the UK. I smell a face turn. I mentioned Robbie T stealing the spotlight a little, which he didn't tonight. Anyway, Robbie E ended up being the one that faced off against Mr. Parks, and it seemed that it was going to be a little squasher for Robbie E. Of course, being the perfect actor that he is, Joseph Parks / Abyss, he faked getting his ass whipped for a little bit as he tried to fight as Robbie E destroyed him for the early part of the match. But of course, after an attack on the turnbuckle, and he missed it, Robbie E was down after Mr. Parks re-energized by hooking up a little and delivering a big series of moves, including, of course, like I said, he hooks it up with a belly back suplex and nails a big splash off the top and a 1-2-3 victory for Joseph Park in his first official match in TNA Impact Wrestling. So there you go. Joseph Park / Abyss gets the victory. Gotta watch this popcorn seed. Then I'm sorry for the joking here. I'm just trying to swallow my popcorn when making this video. Now on with our next situation. Our next matchup, which involved, well, Aries and Roode coming out. Now last week we saw Bobby Roode get the victory over Hernandez, continuing their feud with a little inadvertent help. Trying to get the seat out so I can do this review. But Aries helped Roode get the victory last week with distracting referee as Roode nailed the DDT on Hernandez to get the victory. Well, this week, Roode was going to pay the favor for Austin Aries as he called out Hernandez's tag partner Chavo instead of Aries would beat Chavo. Then Team Roode and Aries, who are now trying to get along, will indeed get a tag team title shot. Well, indeed, it looked like Austin Aries and Roode would not get the tag team title shots, as Aries had control early, but indeed Chavo came flying back. As it was 50-50 with the crowd. I like when Impact's out of the Impact Zone, semi-attack zone in there. I love it when they're out of the Impact Zone because it gets better crowds, better reception. The UK crowd. I've seen these on like 2 or 3 different years of Impacts, and UK delivers a good crowd. And now the impending major announcement, which I'll talk about in a few moments, should get good impacts now. They're probably going to take it on the road. Anyway, there was 50-50 split. Those people chanting, "Let's go, Chavo," and Austin Aries chants. And Aries came flying back. But indeed, Chavo had the advantage with, of course, trying for the 3 amigos at first. Aries blocked that attempt, but Chavo did get the 3 amigos. And he was getting the frog splash, and he had the victory. But the referee got distracted by Roode and Hernandez getting it on. And as Hernandez was distracting the referee, Roode distracted Chavo for enough time for Roode's partner Aries to stir up and deliver the brainbuster on Chavo. 1, 2, 3, like Aries did to Roode last week. Roode helped Aries win this week like Aries helped Roode. And indeed, Aries and Roode now get a tag team title shot by hook or crook against Chavo and Hernandez. I'm guessing at Lockdown. So there you go. Aries gets the victory with a little help from Roode. Now, our next situation. Backstage involving Kurt Angle getting warmed up for a steel cage matchup with Mr. Anderson tonight. And of course, it's boys. Or he thought was his boys. Briscoe and Bischoff. Of course, Gary Bischoff and Wes Briscoe still having their problems with Joe. As Angle said he's got it taken care of for a steel cage match later tonight. With Briscoe and Garrett have to stay out of the way. I knew something was going to happen from that point on with Briscoe and Garrett Bischoff. I was watching that segment. I was like, something may happen tonight with Briscoe and Bischoff. They felt neglected with not being able to help Cook. Well, as we would see in the main event tonight. And the fact that Joe was taken out, we would see how that would happen. To be that something big would happen involving Briscoe and Garrett and Angle. So there you go. Now on with our next matchup. Not our next segment. Hulk Hogan had a big decision to make whether or not to reinstate his now son-in-law, Bully Ray. Now, Bully and Hulk have had their problems for the last couple months. Hogan not wanting to trust Bully Ray because he's a wrestler. He didn't want to trust his daughter Brooke with a wrestler. And he did walk Brooke down the aisle 2 weeks ago during the abrupt ending wedding. But now Hogan needed to do the other right thing. Reinstate Bully Ray after suspending him a few weeks ago. With Sting's help and the crowd's help, Hogan did indeed make the decision that yes, Bully Ray is going to be reinstated. Because I know Bully Ray wants to get his hands all over Ace and Eight, Hogan said. I gotta put family and business confusing aside and focus on the family business and the wrestling business. And that is to put my family in the ring, as Bully Ray will be reinstated for next week as he will team up with Sting against 2 members of Ace and Eights in a tables match. The Bully Ray was smiling all over the place as he was reinstated and put in a tag match with Sting next week in a tables match. So let's see what happens next week in that matchup. And now over the big announcement I kept talking about, that Impact is going on the road. Yes, Impact Zone, they're just there just to be there. You know, it's like admissions free. Just get anybody out there they want. So now with Impact making the announcement, they're going to be on the road permanently shooting Impact from different arenas starting in March in Chicago. March 14th is the first thing. Cannot wait to do that. See Impact on the road every week permanently. They'll probably do an Impact Wrestling in Detroit. And if that happens, I'm going in a heartbeat. Because I've been to Impact show before, but I want to say I've been to a Raw taping, a SmackDown taping, Nitro taping, Sunday Night Heat taping, even an ECW taping, and an Impact Wrestling taping. So if Impact Wrestling comes to Detroit for a taping, I'm going. So there you go. Impact Wrestling on the road again. Now on for the next matchup. Velvet Sky wanting revenge after what happened last week, getting screwed on the reign of the TNA Knockouts Championship against Tara with interference from Jessie. So she wanted them both. Apparently, they thought, Jessie and Tara thought it was going to be a handicap match. But Velvet did get herself a tag partner with the Cowboy, James Storm, in a mixed tag match. Now this is an okay tag match. It was a kind of a silly matchup. Jessie and Storm started out as Jessie had the advantage earlier, but indeed Storm fought right away with a fist of fury on Jessie. You got Jessie on a closing time move, and Velvet beat the crap out of Taylor for a little bit, and Taylor got a kick out, and as Velvet was getting distracted by Jessie, Jessie got a closing time again, and a last call super kick to set him out as Velvet delivered the in-your-face to Tara in a 1-2-3 victory in this Knockouts tag, mixed tag that is, with Velvet pinning the Knockouts champion. Hopefully, this will give Velvet big advantage to another match, another shot against Tara for the title, and hopefully Jessie will stay out of the way and help Tara lose and not help Tara win and regain the TNA Knockouts Championship. Now on to our next match. Kurt Angle against Mr. Anderson in a steel cage matchup. Now, of course, like I mentioned, Samoa Joe was taken out. And with Bischoff watching Joe, as we thought, Garrett's friend Briscoe, Wes Briscoe, came out to the ring with Angle to have his back in the main event. Now, I thought it would be some Ace and Eight interferences, but clearly there wasn't. It's decent, very decently exciting steel cage matchup. Pretty back and forth action maybe towards the second half of the matchup. Great near falls, great counters, great moves, including Kurt Angle delivering the Angle Slam up the top rope. And Anderson giving a mic check, but no matter what each guy did, each guy would not, one or the other did not give up. So, I was disappointed by the lack of blood in this matchup, but I know Lockdown's coming up, and that's why they're having a steel cage match to kind of tease the fact that, oh, Lockdown's coming up, so let's have a bunch of steel cage matches to hype up the April pay-per-view. That's why they showed a little bit of Angle and Anderson's last steel cage encounter from Lockdown 2010. So, Angle and Anderson had a pretty decent fight. The crowd seemed to love it. It was very intense, very exciting action. And Angle got the victory following another Angle Slam on Anderson. He did get the ankle lock on Anderson. And without no help and being stuck in the cage, Anderson had no other choice but to tap out. Angle got the victory. But if Ace and Eight were going to interfere during the match like I expected, expect Ace and Eight to indeed interfere after the match. Which is what happened. Ace and Eight's member came down from the cage. Wes Briscoe was unlocking the cage, locked it up. And Ace and Eight's member unmasked himself, and it was Garrett Bischoff. Like I mentioned during the backstage segment involving Angle and Briscoe and Bischoff being held up by Angle, I was like, maybe Garrett Bischoff and Wes Briscoe can turn their backs on Angle tonight, or something big would happen with them being mad at Angle for neglecting them. Well, that's what happened. Wes Briscoe and Garrett Bischoff are now members of Ace and Eights. I think it's been said months ago that Wes Briscoe is going to be Ace and Eights member, but he was a good guy first, so he turned heel basically tonight. Started Garrett beating the crap out of Angle, double teaming on him. To hell to end Impact with Bischoff and Briscoe now in Aces and Eights. How will Angle retaliate and how will Hogan retaliate? We'll find out next week. Probably assuming it'll be from the UK yet again. And of course, big match for next week. Bully Ray teams up with Sting against 2 members of Ace and Eight in a tables tag match. That is it for my TNA review for the 19th and Impact tonight from Manchester. With that in mind, you have all been attacked by the review from Zach. Thank you all very much for watching. See you later. Yeah. Have a good night and good weekend too. Yeah.